Grace and peace, everybody. Grace and peace. Happy Lord's Day. Happy Lord's Day. This is a wonderful day. It's been a great Sunday, and I thank you all for stopping by because you saw the thumbnail and you saw the title. So you know what we're about to do. We're going to be talking about the Fulton County DA debate. I'm using the word debate really, really loosely. Man, it's pretty interesting. So we got a lot to talk about today. Thank you so much for stopping by. I don't think YouTube put up my video, my announcement on time. So I think the announcement really just went up a few minutes ago that I was doing a live. Like I have no idea what happened. So sometimes that just happens, and I'm trying to fight through, get YouTube to do what it needs to do, behave right, so I can hit my goal. But it is what it is. Q says she saw it though. Okay, thank you so much, Q, for stopping by. Grace and peace. Good to see ya. Good to see you. Let me move that over just a little pace. I like it. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for all that you do. Everybody, shout out to all the moderators. Shout out to the best live chat on the planet. If you know me, you know I appreciate y'all. So I do want to say thank you so much. Hey, thank you so much, Patty Ann. Thank you very much. I'm trying to understand. I don't know how YouTube is doing some things now. So it looked like to me that it hadn't gone out, but maybe it did. Maybe I was just besmirching them. So I'm sorry. I apologize, YouTube. Don't take it the wrong way. We're gonna have a good time though. This is gonna be a really good one. So as I mentioned before, here in Atlanta, the Atlanta Press Club does what's called the Louder Milk Young Debate Series. Super interesting, really interesting project that they do. Is put on by the Atlanta Press Club. They do it on this week. They did it this weekend. They just everybody running for Supreme Court Justice, DA, whatever these positions are, they have an opportunity to debate. And it was really interesting. I have to admit, this is my first time ever actually watching one, but I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, okay, I like this. It was pretty savage, though. I do want to say something because I mentioned before, like, oh, Fani's not going to come because y'all know Fani was in Miami. We're not going to talk about that. So Fani was in Miami, right? And so in the initial article, they said that there will be an empty podium representing Fani Willis. Y'all, they did put that empty podium up there, and it was really wild because they actually let Christian Y. Smith address Fani Willis. So he turns and he talks to an empty podium. It was crazy. But no, it was good. So last night we watched the debate between Christian Y. Smith, Fani Willis, and then incumbent Paul Howard, the sitting DA, back in 2020. And we watched that one yesterday. Pretty interesting. I thought it was, we understood a lot, especially when you see what Fani Willis' position was then and now when you see where she is now. For example, she talks about like conviction rates don't matter, but all she does now is talk about conviction rates. So it is pretty wild. So here, I do think it's interesting because we saw Christian Y. Smith yesterday, and a lot of us had some concerns about him. We had some concerns about him. I think he ironed out a lot of the concerns that you had on yesterday or have had about him before. I think he ironed out a lot of them. I was kind of impressed with him. So I do want to share that with you all. We're going to look at it. It's not super long. So we will go through that and have an opportunity to really parse through it and hear your comments and so on and so forth like that. But before we get too far afield, I got about 28 people watching the video. If you like this type of content, can you please hit that like button? It does help me out a whole lot. It lets me know that you find value in this. And I'm just overwhelmed that y'all would even want to come through and holler at you guys. So I do appreciate it. And I really do mean that. Let's go real quick and see who's in the building. Who's in the building? Well, we got Patty's in the house. She saw the bat signal. She says she's up in here along with Q. Absolutely. I love the family reunion stuff going on, y'all. Go ahead and make sure you holler at your cousins, speak to everybody. Make sure you give them a holler back. I love that. I love it. Thank you so much. We got Black Cappuccino in the building. Good to see you, brother. Hello, brother. To God be the glory. Absolutely. Tawanda, she saw the bat signal. She said she's up in here. Absolutely. Even Q has gone international. She's using different languages and such like that. I love it. All right, what we got here real quick. All right, and let me do this very quickly. Update this. Good to see Let me see what's, oh, Tim is in the building. My man, Tim. Always good to see my man, Tim, in the house. Grace and peace to you, brother. Hopefully you all had a beautiful Sunday. Usually, when I do my Sunday show, we talk about what our pastors preached on Sunday. And today we'll probably do that toward the end. Absolutely. We will probably do that at the end as well. All right. There we go right there. And good to see you, Tim. I appreciate you giving that hand wave. Always, always. So with not a lot of further ado, I do want to make sure I give you all an opportunity to move that mouse over to that thumb and click on it and all that kind of stuff. But then again, if you don't like the content, maybe you don't like what Dear Woke Christians talk about, hit the like button 3 times. It kind of sort of does the same thing, but I appreciate it nonetheless. So this is going to be a watch party, but I'm gonna talk a little bit more in here. I did figure out what was wrong with my audio, I believe. So hopefully you all can hear me loud and clear, unlike yesterday. I have no idea what was going on yesterday. The audio was super wild, but hopefully none of that will happen again today. But today, with no more further ado, what's going on? Milk 35, good to see you, brother. Thank you so much. Now y'all talking about what y'all ate for dinner? Y'all out of control, man. This live chat is out of control. I'm saying right now, though, I would put this live chat up against any Baptist potluck on the planet. Because y'all, if we could get together and do a meetup and a meetup potluck, I bet y'all will beat any Baptist potluck. That's for sure. Let's get at it. Let's get going. All right. With no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's roll.
Hello, I'm Donna Lowry, host of Lawmakers on Georgia Public Broadcasting. Welcome to the Atlanta Press Club Loudermilk Young debate series from the studios of Georgia Public Broadcasting. This is the debate for Fulton County District Attorney. Let's meet the candidates. Christian Y. Smith is an author and attorney. Fani Willis has served as Fulton County District Attorney.
Yes, they did put her up there with an empty podium. An empty podium, y'all. That thing right there still got me in tears. I said they really did do that. They really put an empty podium. And he's going to talk to the podium in a moment. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you right now, I know why she dipped out on this. Oh, I'm going to give it, before we get too far, because I see a lot of people jumping in. Good to see y'all. I'm going to shout y'all out in a moment. But I think the reason why she did not participate in this debate is I was thinking it was both candidates, the Republican and the Democrat. It's only the Democrat. So therefore, I think she believes that she has this a shoe-in. So therefore, she doesn't need to debate this man and take battle wounds, if you will, from lack of a better term, friendly fire. And we see this all the time in political debates, all the time. People go at it, and the next thing you know, they'll be president and vice presidential running mates. So this is what I think why she didn't want to debate him, is because she didn't want to take the hits that she knows was going to come because he's going to ask those tough questions. And he's black. So it's going to be very hard to use the racism card or the black card or the race card in this regard because he is a black man. So it's going to be really hard. But the optic when she's running against the white woman is going to be right there. She's going to use that right off the bat. And I guarantee 3 seconds into the debate or 3 seconds into anything, it'll be white, black dynamic will be played into it. So I think one of the reasons is she didn't want to take friendly fire and get wounds that will help Kramer. But then on the same note, she can't use her tried and true race card in this regard. Now, that is all assuming that she actually moves forward, that she actually wins. I thought Christian did a much better job than I anticipated. So let me, real quick, I see my good friend. No, I think it's good. Look, Tawanda, I think you're going to enjoy it. I do believe you're going to enjoy this. I love it. Real quick, Invisible Woman, Fani. There we go. Just your average man is in the building. Good to see you, man. They need to give Fani a drug test when she gets back from Miami stripper booze and pot fundraiser. Yeah, the videos and pictures I saw were pretty bad. But, hey, that's what she wants to be known for. Because remember, she's the top law enforcement officer in Georgia. So, you know, that's kind of weird. Hey, good to see you, Nakia. Good to see you, Sister Grace and Peace. Make sure I didn't miss you. All right, real quick. She can't use her Marxist lingo. No, she can't. Not and be genuine. She can't do it. So that's one of the reasons why I don't believe she's in there. Hey, what's going on? We watch YouTube. Good to see you. Grace and Peace. All right. All right, let's go. Oh, please don't. Tawanda, yeah, turn this off, Tawanda. If you had a gallbladder surgery, I think you should turn this off because I am going to be cracking some jokes. I'm just giving you a heads up. All right, let's go.
Since 2021, Ms. Willis declined to participate in the debate and is represented by an empty podium. Now let's meet our panelists. Tamar Hallerman is a senior reporter for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and Sam Gringlas is a politics reporter for WABE. For complete rules on—
I'm telling you right now, if you're already crying, wait till you see him turn to talk to the podium. I almost lost my whole mind when I saw it. Look at this. Look at this. Rookie mistake. I did it again.
Ms. Willis declined to participate in the debate and is represented by an empty podium. Now let's meet our panelists. Tamar Hallerman is a senior reporter for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and Sam Gringlas is a politics reporter for WABE. For complete rules on today's program, please visit the Atlanta Press Club website, atlantapressclub.org. To start the program, the candidate will be asked one question by each panelist. He will have 60 seconds to answer their questions. Sam Gringlas, you get the first question to Christian Wise-Smith.
Hi, Mr. Wise-Smith. Thanks for being here. The Fulton County Jail is housing hundreds more people than it was designed to hold. Last year, 10 detainees died there. Most have not been convicted and are just awaiting trial, sometimes for months or even years. The DA is not responsible for conditions at the jail, but Fulton is still trying to dig out from a massive case backlog after the pandemic that reached more than 200,000 cases in 2022. What's your plan to address that backlog?
Well, the district attorney does have something to do with the backlog, and the district attorney can do something about ending mass incarceration, right? When we see people dying in the jail, when we see the terrible conditions in the jail, when we see people sitting there for too long unindicted, that's absolutely a problem that the DA can try to fix. And one of the ways we do that is we create diversion programs for cases involving substance addiction, mental health, homelessness. Those are things that we can bring people through the system a lot faster to alleviate those problems in the jail and also address the backlog.
All right. I see a lot of people. Yeah, this is the guy from yesterday. This is him. But remember, that was back in 2020. So he's had 4 years have passed. I think his beard looks better, but also he had his camera like down and is looking up his nose almost. So I think the angle looks better and the whole nine. So I mean, I think his optics, in my opinion, are way better. But this is the problem. I don't think he answered the question correctly because there are people sitting in the Fulton County Jail right now that whether they committed a crime or they didn't, whether they were prostituting or they were high on drugs, it doesn't matter. They're in the jail now. And I do believe if he had said, look, I'm going to use federal grant money to hire attorneys to move these people through the system as quickly as possible, I do think that would have been just a little jab at Fani in a much more clear mission than I think his ideas are solid in keeping people from getting into the system. But at the current moment, there's a lot of people in the system that you got to get them out of here. That's the problem. And I don't think he properly addressed that. That's just my little 2 cents. But let us go. Let us go. Good to see you, man. Grace and peace. Good to see you. Ski Bro Hero, good to see you as well. I think I got everybody. Good to see you. Again, if you like this type of content, I do appreciate all 61 of you, almost 65 of you all looks like are watching this. Thank y'all so much for checking it out. I appreciate it. If you like it, let me know. Hit that thumbs up. It lets me know that you enjoy this. Let's go.
All right. Tamar Hallerman, please ask your question to Mr. Wise-Smith.
Thanks for doing this, Mr. Wise-Smith. 4 years ago, you ran on a criminal justice reform platform that included things like not seeking the death penalty, ending cash bail, and not prosecuting many types of drug possession cases. Do you still take those positions today?
I've grown a lot in the last 4 years. The biggest way is understanding that crime is an issue that impacts all of us, so we should all have a seat at the table, right? I want to be community-based and bringing the business community on board to help provide internship opportunities and job opportunities for people so that we can break the cycle of recidivism. I want to partner with all of the public schools in Fulton County so that we can be proactive and just showing up for our kids to help dismantle the school-to-prison pipeline. And having community resource providers, again, to address issues of homelessness, mental health, and substance addiction. Those are all things that we can do differently than we aren't seeing being done now. And if you want to say that those are progressive and bold, I still stand on that, and I do still stand on not seeking the death penalty and other progressive measures to make sure that Fulton County ends up becoming the safest county in the country.
That concludes the first round. In the second round, the candidates asked questions of each other. Since Fani Willis declined to participate, Christian Y. Smith, you may pose a question to the empty podium. You also have 30 seconds to provide a rebuttal to how you feel your opponent would have responded.
Y'all, that thing right there had me in tears. He's literally going to ask a question to the empty podium and then answer a question that the empty podium gives him. That thing right there is comedy gold. Here it comes. Let's go.
Hey, Ms. Willis, how you doing? My question for you is, where are you? I'm here because I care about the citizens and the families of Fulton County, but it's my understanding that, you may have attended the White House Correspondents' Dinner, you may be fundraising across the country, but what about us here in Fulton County? What are you doing to address the issues in the jail? What are you doing to address the backlog? Where are you, Ms. Willis? That's what we want to know.
Do you have a rebuttal?
I might have to roll that back here. I'm going to put myself there so it don't look like he just talking to a pure empty podium. My goodness. All that thing is hilarious. He's like, where are you? Y'all, I got to back that up. I know. All right, y'all pray I do it right. Move a little slider back a little bit. That thing right there was funny. Let's do it again.
Say that those are progressive and bold. I still stand on that, and I do still
I'll look at them too.
Stand on not seeking the death penalty and other progressive measures to make sure that Fulton County ends up becoming the safest county in the country.
That concludes the first round. In the second round, the candidates asked questions of each other. Since Fani Willis declined to participate, Christian Y. Smith, you may pose a question to the empty podium. You also have 30 seconds to provide a rebuttal to how you feel your opponent would have responded.
Hey, Ms. Willis, how you doing? My question for you is, where are you? I'm here because I care about the citizens and the families of Fulton County, but it's my understanding that, you may have attended the White House Correspondents' Dinner, you may be fundraising across the country, but what about us here in Fulton County? What are you doing to address the issues in the jail? What are you doing to address the backlog? Where are you, Ms. Willis? That's what we want to know.
Do you have a rebuttal?
Oh my gosh.
Well, I can't speak for Ms. Willis, as she's not here. And I think that her absence is all the response that we need.
All right.
I'm sorry. That dude right there, I was not even thinking of that question. I would have gone in a whole different direction. I was like, yo, that's such a good question. Where are you? Why are you not here? I think he should have went longer because he had a whole minute. I think he should have went even more. I think he should. That thing right there. Oh my gosh. Good to see you, K-Dub. K-Dub's in the building. Y'all, Chris dropping them skulls in there. Let's do that. Just drop the skulls in there. Because I'm sorry. That was murder right there. That was painful. Oh my gosh. Where are you, Fani? That thing right there. I got to find my little skull emoji. Why y'all find them before me? I should have had them ready. That's what I should have did. There we go. Now I'm ready. I got you now, people. I'll fill it up. Drop those skull emojis in the chat and let Fani know. We want to know where you at. Where you at, Fani? All right, let's keep going.
That concludes our second round. You are watching the debate for Fulton County District Attorney. Fani Willis declined to participate and is represented by an empty podium. We will now go back to the panel to ask questions to Mr. Wise-Smith until we run out of time. Tamar Hallerman, you get the first question.
Mr. Wise-Smith, DA Willis's office has been criticized for devoting substantial taxpayer resources to prosecuting former President Donald Trump and 14 of his allies. If you win, will you continue that case, the election interference case? And if you do, will you continue pursuing DA Willis's strategy of using the state's racketeering law to do it?
Okay, I want to back that up. And I didn't mean to say back it up. I'm going to roll that back just again so you can hear that. I think this is why I really want to hear what your opinions are. What are your thoughts on this question? So I'm going to let her spin it out again, and I'm going to let him answer. And I would love to hear what you all think about it. Yeah, I know, Chris. I didn't mean to say it. I didn't mean to say back it up. I didn't mean to. Okay, so I want y'all to hear it again because I thought the question was fantastic. Now, because she's not here, because Fani's not here, they can ask any question they want to. Now, they would have probably maybe been a little more judicious had she been here, but that's her fault. So this question would never have come up, possibly, had she been here. Just my little 2 cents. Let's go.
Tamar Hallerman, you get the first question.
I did a good job.
Mr. Wise-Smith, DA Willis's office has been criticized for devoting substantial taxpayer resources to prosecuting former President Donald Trump and 14 of his allies. If you win, will you continue that case, the election interference case? And if you do, will you continue pursuing DA Willis's strategy of using the state's racketeering law to do it?
That issue is important to us here in Fulton County and a lot of people across the country. We all heard the phone call. We all saw what happened on January 6, 2021. But you have to do things differently. You know, when you pay one attorney nearly $1 million to handle one case, that leaves the rest of us vulnerable. That hurts everyone else in Fulton County. You know, I worked in that office and my salary was significantly less than what that attorney was paid, and I was responsible for handling a lot more cases than one. So we have to make sure that we see that case through in the best way possible while also addressing everything else that impacts us in Fulton County. Women don't feel safe stopping at the gas pump at night.
Thanks.
You know, I know victims of domestic violence who feel like their cases are being neglected and overlooked. So we need a DA who understands that we can pursue the big high-profile cases while not leaving everybody else in Fulton County left behind.
Sam Gringlas.
All right, what do y'all think about that? And let me know, what do y'all think about that? He called out Wade. He called out how much she paid Fani. He called out how much she paid other attorneys in her office. I don't know if you know this, but Fani Willis is about to be sued tomorrow by a Georgia representative, the young lady Misha Maynard. She used to be a Democrat, and she changed parties about a year ago, maybe about 10 months ago, to become from a Democrat to become a Republican because she felt like the Republican Party the Democratic Party was not supporting school choice and building up the schools out in that area. Well, she actually had a case where she was being stalked by a very violent stalker, and Fani Willis's DA department did nothing about it and actually positioned and tried to work with the stalker to keep him out of jail. So Misha Maynard is literally about to sue her tomorrow. I don't think it was just happenstance that Christian Wise-Smith said he knows people who are domestic violence victims. I don't think that was by happenstance. I think that was another jab at Fani. So I caught at least 5. Fani catching strays left and right and center. What do y'all think about this, though? I would love to hear. So please, 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 please. All right. Y'all think Tasha K is going to see Fani and Big Nate in Miami? I don't think Nate was in Miami. I'm pretty certain Nate was not in Miami. This guy has no sense. All right, calling out Wade. Yes, sir, Monkey Flower. It isn't an answer. Well, he does say he's going to pursue the case, but he's not going to do it at the extent of, or rather at the expense of, Fulton County. Because I think in my opinion, I translated him as saying he wasn't going to pursue it. Maybe I'm misinterpreting it. I can't find the skulls. Tawanda, don't worry about it. We got you, girl. We got you. Will you continue to prosecute Trump or not? I do wish he had answered a yes or no, but I do understand what he was saying. This is what he said. This is what I translated it as. This man said that we can't afford to prosecute him, whether it be financially or sustainably, with taking care of other cases as well. I'm with him. I mean, I understand his point that we don't get paid the same, et cetera, but he's comparing apples and oranges in the employees and a contract lawyer. I can see what you're saying. We watch YouTube, but I think the issue is that Nate was paid substantially more as a contract lawyer than anybody else, which was weird, being that he wasn't doing work. I think that's the issue. But all right, let's keep it going. Tasha K. Let me see. Let's see some conversation about Tasha K. Yes, I do. Q. It was a. They say it's a politician's answer. Okay, I'll accept that. Not a problem. Let's let them finish up. We got 124 people watching. That's what's up. Thank y'all so much. I wish Ashley Merchant would have run for DA. Now that would have been interesting. That would be wild. That would be wild. All right, let's keep it going. Let's roll.
The district attorney in Athens, Clark County, Deborah Gonzalez, is a former state representative with a background in academia and media and entertainment law, but no experience as a prosecutor. Since taking office, she's been plagued by accusations of mismanagement, which she's denied. Why should voters trust that you have the experience to manage the busiest DA's office in the state?
Well, first, my life experience separates me from any other DA in the country, I'd argue. I grew up seeing my mom and grandma and several family members and friends get arrested. At 15, my mom lost custody of me. At 17, I was kicked out of school and headed toward a life of crime. So my life experience far separates me and gives me some inside information on some things that we can do differently to change the system. But in addition to that, I have a master's degree in management. And obviously in addition to my law degree, I've worked in Grady Health System 3 separate times. Grady is the largest healthcare system in the Southeast. I led a $70 million project there. And I worked as chief of staff in Atlanta City Council, so I understand what it means to collaborate and work with other governmental entities and agencies to make sure that we're doing what we can do best here to serve the citizens of Fulton County to make this the best justice system in the country.
Tamar?
I do like that they started the question off by saying, hey, we got this DA up in another county here in Georgia, and they're just having a lot of problems because they've never been a DA or a prosecutor. I do think that his life experiences in this regard do benefit him, and he did play off of that in his life experiences, whether it be coming up in his ranks as a young man, and then of course his roles and duties and responsibilities. I agree with that, and I think he did a good job with that. But again, I kind of agree with K-Dub right here. He could probably just answer every question by saying, because I'm the only one that showed up. I'm the only one that's not in Miami right now. I mean, that would have been wild. Let's keep it going. Let's go.
Just a follow-up question, but do you have the experience to try a high-profile felony case? And if you believe you do, can you talk about a past experience you have that would inform how you would handle such a case?
So I was a prosecutor for 7 years, 5 years on the municipal court level, nearly 2 on a felony level. And I understand collaboration, right? I understand what it means to bring in attorneys who have the experience on those kind of cases in office, where we don't need to spend nearly $1 million to hire someone outside of office to take care of that kind of case. And that ties back to my experience of leading, $70 million plus projects at Grady and working in city government to understand what it means to delegate and collaborate to accomplish a common goal.
Mr. Wise-Smith, you recently held a campaign fundraiser with the music executive Kevin Liles, whose record label represents the Atlanta rapper Young Thug. Mr. Liles and others have been very critical of DA Willis's use of rap lyrics against Young Thug and others in the YSL gang case. If you win this race as district attorney, first, will you continue the YSL case? And second, would you continue to use lyrics of any kind as evidence against people in cases?
So the trial in that case, is ongoing. So I don't want to speculate or say anything that could taint that jury or, be unfair to either side in that case. But I will say, with the background that I have, hip hop was a very important part of my life. I know in this country that there have been hundreds of prosecutions of black men, hip hop artists using their lyrics. One in particular, a rapper from No Limit Records in the 90s was sentenced to 30 years with no physical evidence. There was no gun, no DNA, no blood. They only used the lyrics to one of his songs. And so things like that, that's dangerous. If lyrics lead to physical evidence is fair game. But lyrics alone, I think that is dangerous. We don't see that being done in the movie industry or film industry. It's only or any other genre of music. It's only being done to black men in hip hop, and I think that's dangerous.
Thank you.
Okay.
Tamar, did you have a follow-up?
What did y'all think about that? What do y'all think about the using rap lyrics or song lyrics? What do y'all think about that? I don't know. I'm a little bit conflicted. I do agree that we don't do it for any other form of art. So I do understand his point there. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted. I'm not really invested in it. I'm just kind of like, I don't know I don't know what's good or bad in that regard. So what do y'all think? What do y'all think? X-rated also. Lyrics are covered by the First Amendment. Okay, I can dig it. No argument for me. No argument. First Amendment, okay. I can understand that. I would like to hear a debate about using lyrics. Yeah, we have to find that. Because I know there was a big brouhaha about that when she first rolled up to use them, in this case particular. And I know there have been others before, but it just seemed like in modern day, this would seem to be like the first time people had heard that idea. But if we find something, we'll look at it for sure. Really, all kinfolk ain't kinfolk. I wouldn't waste a vote. Really? Okay. Thank you, Mama Joe's. What's going on? Susie in the building. Good to see you. All right, let's see. Unless it is specific, like I was here, unless it was specific, like I was here and I did that, and you can find it here, then no. Okay, I got you. I'm assuming the lyrics. I got you for sure. I think rap songs are free speech and not causative of any crime. Kind of like how I did forget about video games. You're right. Video games and cartoons are blamed for violence and never dropped any anvil on somebody. I got you. Okay, yeah. You can use lyrics for leads. Your average, just an average man says, but they must lead to actual evidence, kind of like what Christian Y. Smith says. It isn't a confession unless it's done during an interview by law enforcement. I agree. Now, if I'm not mistaken, just your average man is an actual former police officer, so I think he definitely has an understanding on this matter. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. What happened to the white lady attorney that was running for DA's office? Thank you so much, Ski Bro. This was only the Democratic, I guess, if I'm understanding correctly, this is only the Democratic debate. I don't know why. I thought it was going to be all three of them, but it's not. I don't know why. If you go back and look at like the Paul Howard one, Paul Howard, of course, is a Democrat. Fani's a Democrat, and Christian was a Democrat. They didn't have any Republicans. So I don't know that one. I'm going to look a little bit more into that. Yes, I don't know. But you never even hear her mentioned in any of the articles. So I'm assuming either A, they're I don't know. I have no idea. Got interrupted by children. Check it on. You'll be right back soon. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think that's it, Ski Bro. I don't know emphatically, but I don't think that there's a, now, once this primary, and I think somebody just, yes, because we're in the primary season. That's what it is. So once this is over with, and you know what? During the Paul Howard one, there was only Fani and Christian were the only ones running for the position. There wasn't a Republican running. That's exactly why. So because this is a primary, and the primary is coming up at the end of May, once Christian wins, he will run against Kramer. the young lady Kramer. That's what it is. Thank you, Q. All right. Yes, it was only a Democrat debate. The white lady is alone on the Republican side. That is the primary, is on May 21st. What's going on, Ed Todd? What's up with you, my brother? E. Todd, good to see you. All right, let's finish this up.
No.
Okay, Sam.
In general, DA Willis is known for her fondness of Georgia's racketeering law, or RICO, for these larger cases, sometimes involving upwards of dozens of defendants, sometimes sweeping in lower-level people, such as the APS cheating scandal, YSL, the election interference cases. Do you think RICO is overused, as we often hear from some defense attorneys?
Absolutely. The Atlanta teacher case is a perfect example of that. The RICO Act was designed in mind with organized crime and mobsters and gangsters back in the 70s. And so to be overbroad and use something like that and trying to sweep across a lot of teachers, I thought that was an overreach and misuse of the DA's office. So, once I take office, we'll make sure we're using that in the appropriate way and not using it for everything.
Tamar.
I want to say, I think that was a good look. He did not address, he addressed, if you're not familiar with the Atlanta cheating scandal, it was wild. And I was, thankfully I was not in Atlanta public schools at that time. But everybody thought that was a little bit much. That was a lot. That was much. And so I think he pointed that out, and he did not address the young thug and did not address the election interference cases, because those are still ongoing. And I think people are still kind of up in the air about their feelings about it. But most people feel like those teachers were not mobsters. They were just trying, because at that time, teachers were paid for the performance growth of their classes. So you're putting a lot of weight on men and women to make decisions that are probably going to end up being bad decisions. Now, it's their responsibility to make the good decision, and they're responsible for the crimes that they committed. But they weren't mobsters, okay? Let's just tell the truth. I know people who are no longer teachers and who got swept up in that. They weren't mobsters. They just were making bad decisions. Now, those bad decisions should have been penalized, and they should have got a non-renewal. Absolutely. They shouldn't be RICO'd. That was a little bit much. So I agree with him. And I think the way he handled it was appropriate. But let me see what you got. Tim says, of course, yes, RICO is overused. I hope the Georgia narrows it. I do hope that they narrow down the RICO law. I agree with you 100% there. Just an average man. Susie's shouting you out. Good answer for sure. Most agree that the RICO part, dear world Christian, is Fani on Georgia payroll as acting DA. I like this candidate. I wish him a good run. Yeah, Fani is the current DA. And if she was not in Miami getting turned up this weekend, she would have been here, or she should have been here, having this debate with this young man and him not talking to an empty podium. But I digress. It doesn't matter the color. They need to be qualified to get the job and knowledgeable to keep it. And that's Mama Jones. No argument for me whatsoever. I agree with you 100%. And I do think this is going to actually probably happen, Caustic Chameleon. She says that the legislature would need to take this up after all these RICO cases and scandals. You would hope they would. And I think that means just narrowing it down so it can't be used so blatantly as we're using it now. You don't yell fire in the theater. No, you don't, Mick. I agree with that. Hopefully I didn't miss something. DAs like Fani abuse RICO because there is a lower burden of proof to get a guilty verdict and have an extreme punishment, which they leverage for guilty pleas. That's true. Ashley Merchant talked about that with why with all these people that were swept up in the Trump case, why so many of them did actually just plead out, even though they probably were innocent. They just don't want to sit here and fight for this all year long, multiple days and months and even years long. They don't want to do that. They just don't have the money to do that. Because also it is a war of attrition. Like it'll bankrupt you. I can imagine you could be bankrupt by this. So I kind of like how he approached that. I thought it was smart. Let me see what else I got. All right. All right, I see RICO was made for going after mob bosses that were shielded by their soldiers. There you go. Yeah, I mean, and then if you do any research into the Atlanta cheating scandal, you would be scratching your head too. Like, really? Sure, they're wrong. They were wrong for what they did, but it was a little bit overreach for sure. No question about it whatsoever. Hey, I got 43 people have liked the video. Can I get to 50? Because I currently have 179 watching. That's kind of dope. Appreciate y'all. Let's see if we can get this finished. Let's go.
Mr. Wise-Smith, we haven't seen a ton of polling in this race so far, but the one poll that we did see released, I believe Fox 5 reported it, had you at about 9% support of those polled. Do you think you have a path to victory at this point? And what is the coalition that you think could deliver you there?
Absolutely. You know, I'm pretty sure that poll didn't, seek out first-time voters or young voters or people who want to see fresh energy and new ideas in the DA's office. I'm sure that poll only focused on a specific demographic of people. And I understand a little bit of the game and how polls work. But I'm confident that we will excite a lot of first-time voters and young voters, people from the cannabis community who agree that we should legalize, and a lot of folks who just want to see change. You know, the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And I'm campaigning on something that hasn't been done in the South before, and I think we will excite a lot of people who will come out and vote to see those changes.
Tamar, follow-up?
Yeah, if you do not win this primary race, will you endorse Ms. Willis, or are there concessions that you would like to see from her?
Well, right now, I'm not focused on losing. I'm focused on gaining your vote. And I'm asking everybody watching this to vote Christian Wise-Smith for Fulton County District Attorney on May 21st. Early voting starts April 29th. Wise up.
Tomorrow.
Thank you. That is all the time we have for questions. Christian Wise-Smith will now have 60 seconds for a closing statement.
Okay, before he goes into his closing statement, what do y'all think about his, is he going to be able to excite the base? Is he going to be able to excite people to come to vote for him? What do y'all think? All right, let's see. I think Atlanta will vote him in. It will only get worse. Whoa, I'm sorry, let me read that again. I think if Atlanta votes him in, it'll only get worse. Really? Worse? Wow, okay. So he's going to run on legalizing weed? Okay. We'll have my popcorn ready. I got you. You thought it was a great answer, E. Todd said. Atlanta isn't legal yet? Nope. Not like these people, like, I mean, we got the cannabis stores and, not cannabis, the vape stores and stuff like that. But, you know, basically they're talking about like legalizing like the amount that you are caught with. So if you get caught with an ounce or whatever the amount is that they choose. So no, they're not legal like that. I don't think it's going to happen, but I mean, that's a whole nother thing because Fulton County he can't just decide not to do what the job is. So I don't think that's going to be the case. All right, let's see what we got. At least Fani wants to lock people up. Okay. If he runs on legalizing weed, then yeah, he could get attention. He reminds me of Mayor Johnson in Chicago. Okay. Yes, medical is legal here. That is correct. Oklahoma is fully legal. Wow. That's wild. Well, we're medically legal, not recreational. So they're talking about recreational. I disagree with the legalization of marijuana, but yeah. We watch YouTube. Well, if he did it for medical only, would kick people out of only weed crimes in jail, which would make more room for harder criminals. Okay, I can understand that. Okay, so it's only medical in Oklahoma, Tim Moore says. Okay. Chicago went from worse to worser. I don't even know if that's a real word, but there we are. Okay, no, I'm right there with you. Yeah, and this is the thing that Susie's talking about right here. It seems like it would need to be a state change, not just a county change, but I don't know. No, it would need to be a state change. I don't see Georgia anytime in the near future. I mean, I don't see it in the next 2, 3, even 4 years changing over. That's not, We won't have the appetite for it here in Georgia. No such thing as worser. All right. And Susie E. Todd agrees with you. Here, let's get done with this, Jason. Let's go.
Fulton County, I'm running to make us the safest justice system in the United States of America. I want the president to call us and look at us as the model on how you do local criminal justice. We do this by focusing on victim-centered prosecution, ending mass incarceration, and dismantling the school-to-prison pipeline. And I've seen each of these three things firsthand, so I know they work. I diverted a 17-year-old high school senior for possession who went on to graduate from college and play in the NFL. My mother suffers from a mental disability, and I've seen her constantly go through the system where if she would have been partnered with some folks, it could have changed her life and changed my life. And diverting or dismantling the school to prison pipeline is exactly why I'm here. It was a police officer named Bill Dean who stepped in for me and spoke positivity in my life and showed up for me. And that's what I want to do for not only my kids, but your kids. And that's how we make Fulton County the safest and best justice system in the country. So again, vote Christian Wise Smith for Fulton DA on May 21st. Thank you.
That concludes our program. We'd like to remind voters that early voting begins April 29th and Election Day is Tuesday, May 21st. Our thanks to Christian Wise Smith and to our panel of journalists. We'd like to thank the Atlanta Press Club and Georgia Public Broadcasting for arranging today's program. For more information about the Atlanta Press Club debates, visit atlantapressclub.org. I'm Donna Lowry. Thanks for joining us for the Atlanta Press Club Loudermilk Young Debate Series.
All right, and maybe I might be just like super positive about it because I know that I feel like Fani Willis is looking at these big issues and not at the smaller issues. And to me, here's a perfect example. Here's a perfect example if you are familiar with comic books. Okay, Batman is a street level Gotham City defender. Okay, he defends Gotham City on the street level. But in some comics, you got Batman traipsing all around the solar system doing stuff. And in my opinion, Fani is that part where she's doing all of these things around the solar system and not focusing on what's going on in Gotham. And in my opinion, Mr. Wise Smith is making the argument for Gotham. I'm not saying like, hey, I'm just translating it as I'm not looking to be all out here in the world doing everything, but rather right here for Fulton County. That's my translation of his closing argument as well as his push in the beginning. So that's what I got. Thank you so much, man. Brandon, let me give Brandon a little shout out for the super chat. All right. Brandon said, why do you oppose weed legalization? I'm going to come to that. Thank you so much. Let me put a star by that. I am not going to forget it. I'm going to come to that in a moment. Great question, though. Great question. What did E. Todd say? He doesn't need to do much to please our current president unless he makes ice cream. Well, there you go. But Susie has a good question here, and I think this is what I think, and I mentioned this yesterday during the debate that he had with Paul Howard and Fani Willis. Why don't we encourage fathers to stay in their homes and raise their children? That's the missing link that would keep that would help dismantle the school to jail pipeline and all these kind of things that you talk about, is get dads back into their homes. That would be key, and try to encourage dads to stay in a home with their pair bond, with their wives, and raise kids. That is the missing link that many people don't mention. But let's keep it going. Let's see. All right, let's see what I did. Lots of good commentary back and forth. All right, let's go. Okay, why does Dear Woke Christian not support the idea of legalization of weed? All right, let's go. All right, marijuana. My understanding is that it's not just the same as tobacco. The effects of marijuana are greater than if you were smoking a pack of cigarettes, what it does to your body long term, what it does to your body over time, what is greater than that. The buzz that you get from drinking a beer usually ends within so many hours. The buzz that you get from smoking a blunt, not so much. You could still be having residual effects of that for 2-3 days after smoking a blunt. That's problematic to me because you are now going to have people going around who are basically high, buzz, stoned, whatever the term that you need, and we're making that available to them. I don't think we need to do that. Now, the medicinal benefits of marijuana, I'm not arguing against those. I do think that there are some good medicinal purposes for it, and we can have a discussion about, how it using it to deal with chronic pain and so on and so forth. We can have that discussion on another show, but just recreational use of it, I think, is problematic. As a Christian, I can't support something that puts you in a position where you are no longer in control of your faculties or potentially not in control of your faculties. And therein is the second problem. So I can't condone something. And even though I believe that, hey, it's your body, you're going to do what you're going to do with it, I don't believe that it's the right thing to do to position and say, hey, you can just do whatever you want to do with your body. I don't think that that's a smart idea because it doesn't long-term benefit anybody and it's going to long-term hurt you. I don't think that's a good look. As a believer in Christ, I can't condone that. And then very last thing, I don't see that the gateway drug paradigm or the gateway drug conundrum, I don't see that has been dismantled. I do see that this is a gateway drug that will lead itself to to more harsher drugs. And we see this let's just use cigarettes, for example. Aren't we smoking cigarettes? Don't we have access to cigarettes? And now aren't we arguing about the access to marijuana? We're moving forward. Didn't we have at one time the use of beer? And now we have a heavier and more harsher, more alcoholic spirits? Absolutely. And then, of course, we could always talk about the presence of drugs in general. Voila. I don't think that's a good look. So those are 3 just off the cuff reasons why I oppose the legalization of marijuana. Off the top of my head, mind you. All right, let's see what I got. Hey, what's going on? Brianne, good to see you. Good to see you. Criminal justice reform should be in sentencing and releasing from charges once probation is completed. That would allow people to truly start a new life. Criminal justice reform should be in sentencing and release from charges once. Okay, I got you. Thank you, your average man. Just an average man, please forgive me. All right. I can tell you lots of negative weed legalization coming from California DWC. Let's go. I believe you've actually emailed me. I'm perfectly fine with it. Yeah, I understand that there's lots of people that are arguing for it and I think some people have some good reasons why they argue for it. I just don't think that they are the best look for our society. And if I could even add another one to it, like we can see what currently our mental health system or lack of mental health system is doing to people who probably need some mental health. So giving them unfettered access to drugs, even if it's just something simple like weed, I don't think is a good idea for them because, just look at some of these people. And of course, we're looking at the harder drugs as well. All right, what do we have here? Okay, I like the thing about jail reform. I just hope that I like what you said here about criminal justice reform. I'm hoping I'm reading it correctly because I see some people giving you some shout outs, just an average man. And I want to make sure I didn't mispronounce it. I want to make sure I didn't misrepresent what you were saying. If I'm understanding what you're saying is if somebody goes to jail, if you want to, criminal justice reform is looking more directly at what I have done and giving me a proper sentence. And then once I'm done in jail or done with my probation, then allowing me an opportunity to get back into normal life, if I'm understanding you correctly. Because I see a lot of people amening what you said, and I want to make sure I don't want to just skirt over it, because I want to give you your flowers right here. Just average man, hard to get a good job with a felony. I totally understand. All right. We need to start making victims whole instead of the government. Victims are victimized twice in the current system. Okay, I got you. I don't know, Mama Joe's. I don't know. Is Fani's job really in jeopardy? Because the way she moves, she has no cares to give about doing her job or this young man coming for her job. I agree. And I've said it before. I said that's probably why she didn't even come, because she knows she's got it locked down. I don't know that. And I do think the way she moves is kind of weird. Like, if you were really worried about it, why would you not be here? I totally get it. And that man was talking to the empty podium. I totally get it. I'm an optimist. So I'm hoping that it at least will be a challenging role for her, at least push her into such like that. And then, of course, I'm hoping that whoever the Republican candidate will push her or Christian even more to help people see and hear what they actually believe, which I think is the problem. Nobody really knows what Fani believes about certain things. And I would love for her to have had to answer some of those questions. That would have been wild. And even that, watch this. The whole thing was only like 15 minutes long, 16 minutes long. Would it have been longer had she been there to answer those questions? I think it would have, and that would have been wild. That would have been great. All right, let's go. What we got right here. Okay, Q said it's not in jeopardy at all. Not at all? Man, Q, come on. Give me a little bit of hope. Come on. 10%, something. Right. Yeah, I'm not arguing about whether or not, if you have someone, you have a loved one that's in hospice and they're racked with pain, and to get them the pharmaceutical drug is going to be so many hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Or you can bring them home and just allow them to have a medical marijuana joint, and that eases their pain and gives them comfort. I don't know. I don't know if I can argue against that. I don't know if I can argue against that, especially when the smoke clears and this person passes on, the family's going to have to pay those bills. And so, hey, it's a matter of, grandma getting a $5,000 morphine drip bill, or however much it costs to have the street level pharmacist bring you something. I don't know if I can argue against that. I don't know. Thankfully, praise God, I don't have to be in that position to argue that. If I ever get in that position, there'll probably be, who knows? I might have to do I might have to go back through here and erase this. I don't know, but I just don't. In that regard, when it comes to medical reasons and such like that, I totally get it. Pain management, I get it. But I want to be zoned out because I just don't want to deal with the world. I don't think that's a good look. All right. Like, even if it's just like, hey, they're on hospice. Once you're in hospice, when you'll have a few more hours, a few more days left, maybe, however long you're there, if that helps you, I don't know. Oh, I'm going to get in trouble for that one. I know that. Just an Average Man says weed is still federally illegal, so all states who legalize it create a cash-only business within their state. Yikes. Yeah. Wow. So wait. So how do they do that, though? That's the thing that I don't get. If it's still illegal in the U.S., how is California, which is last time I checked is still a U.S. state, how are they still doing that? Thank you so much for asking. She had a great time. She had a wonderful time. I'll send you some pictures. So she had a great time. Her and her little friends had a great time, and she was back at a reasonable time, which was great because I was sitting up waiting, and I didn't have to sit up too long. So, I was happy about that. All right, let me see what I got. That is so interesting. Etai said in Oregon, we have more cannabis dispensaries than gas stations. Man, I totally believe it's true. All right, Tim says, hey, I still smoke and I'm working on it. I had a card and use it for pain and sleep issues, but nothing else and way less since been saved. Amen. Well, praise God, man. And again, I don't know what your situation is. And so in that regard, I don't know where I would land, but I'm talking about this outright people that just get on down, the Snoop Dogs of the world, the Willie Nelsons of the world. Nah, that's just wrong. So all right. So Amanda Brienne says her daughter Amanda went to prom last night too. She had a great time. She didn't dance, but they enjoyed the garden area of the mansion it was held at. So hers was at her actual school, but the big deal is to go to take pictures, and they go to dinner, they go to the prom, and then they go to an after party. Well, my daughter went to all of those things except the after party because she didn't have a ride home. She was not going to have a ride home. So she, after they left from the dance, I think they took more pictures and then she came home. What's going on, Restoring Hero Project? What's up, man? Grace and peace to you, my friend. Good to see you. He says drug, sex, and entertainment can be prison for some. Absolutely. And by the way, real quick, if y'all could do me a favor, I like to shout out good content creators when they fall through the live chat. And since you all are the best live chat in the whole universe, let's go real quick and check out Restoring Heroes Project. His whole aim is to elevate the role of dads in the household and make them the heroes that they're supposed to be. And I don't want to misrepresent you, James, but I love what you're doing. He recently did a children's book about the role of dads in the lives of kids. It's fantastic. And if James sent me a copy, I will do a review of it. So if y'all could, go check out Restoring Heroes Project. Tell them Dear Woke Christians sent you. James, you can drop your link in the chat so everybody can check you out and see what you're doing over there. I do think, because we were talking about it earlier, why not encourage men to fulfill their roles in the household? That'll be a great way to fix the criminal justice system, or at least stem some of the school of prison pipeline. And this is a great way. And James is doing his part over there. So check him out, man. Grace and peace, James. Thank you so much for stopping by Restoring Heroes Project. Check him out. By the way, I want to thank Brandon again, helping your guy out with my RICO Defense Fund. RICO. All right, I'm in Michigan. I assure you that no one is walking around high for days. It's not a gateway drug. That's propaganda from Hearst. I'm a Christian, and I don't think it's my sin to judge if it's a sin. There we go. Hear me. I'm not disagreeing with you in that regard. There are more than just, an average YouTuber talking about it. There's more people have said that the effects of weed don't just wear off. So if I were smoking a joint right now at 9 o'clock on Sunday, when I wake up tomorrow to go to the studio, those effects are still going to be percolating through my system. That's what I'm talking about. And they won't be out of my system. And again, if you have other data that I don't know about, I would gladly check it out. And I'm just going by books that I've read on the topic. That might not be a good look. Now, I don't think that we can, I'm not going to say that you're excommunicated, that you're no longer a Christian. I just don't think it's the best thing for Christians to do. And I don't think that I would, if you were my friend and we were together, we worship together in church, or we hang out together, whatever, or we work together, I would probably admonish you that even though it were legal, it's probably not the best thing for you. That would be my argument, but that's it. All right, let's see what I got here. Miss J says, Chase says, my question for those who want to legalize marijuana or any drug exactly how much of God's wrath do you want to bring upon us as a nation? We will reap what we sow. All right. I can definitely say that we have, we've gone well past needing, we deserve the asteroid that we get. We deserve the locust invasion. We deserve everything that we get as a country. So this is just yet another reason why. But I do think we deserve it all. Fanny only answers questions in the house of the Lord, E. Todd said. And I think it would have been interesting to hear Fani ask Christian questions, Christian ask Fani questions. Who knows? Maybe the debate would have been longer. Maybe it was only short because there was only one person speaking and there was no back and forth and no opportunities for another person to speak. So if Christian took 15 minutes, would it have been 30 minutes if Fani had been there? I don't know. But I think it would have been interesting to say the least. All right, what we got? All right, what we got, Tim? Yeah. Tim said, we can't even say what a woman is. The wrath is here, bud. I agree. I agree 100%. Once a sentence is done, this is what, okay, thank you so much, Just Your Average Man. I totally believe once a sentence is done, a person should be made whole. If you counting, you label someone a convict after they have completed their penance, what is the use of their ever behaving properly? Okay, so I like that. I like what you're saying. I do understand what you're saying. But let me ask you this question. Are there crimes that people should be excluded from being able to hold certain roles at? I don't think that every felon shouldn't be able to own a gun. I don't believe that. However, let's say white collar. Let's just stick with white collar. So I embezzle a whole bunch of money from my widget factory. I'm the accountant and I'm cooking the books, okay? I go to jail and I get out of jail. Can I go back into that role again at a new widget factory? Can I do that? And not even try to be combative. I'm just wondering. Because I do think there's, to some degree, I understand what you're saying. I don't think I'm being real silly here. I don't think a habitual speeder should wear a scarlet letter that they're always been a speeder for the rest of their lives. No, but certain crimes, even after you've paid your debt to society, I don't know, should you be allowed to be put back in that position? That's my only question. So let me know and please put answer in front of it and I can make sure I pay attention to it. Q says it's Atlanta. Her job is not in jeopardy. Okay. These titles don't match the content. Okay. All right. I will make sure, Lamont man, I'll make sure we email management. Matter of fact, let me just drop that link in there. If you have a problem with the titles and things like that, make sure you email management. They will make sure they get that resolved. Right. If an embezzler of millions should be in the bank again, that's my question. And I want to make sure if I saw my friend Average Man, I don't see it. Okay, cool. I'm just looking through. There's a lot of good conversation about this. Now we're getting into the tall weeds, pun intended, of marijuana usage. Yeah, I totally, look, I've read studies as well. I've read more studies that say that weed is bad than anything that says that the long-lasting effects are negligible. So be sober-minded. Absolutely, James. All right, I think the scriptures weed debate is a great one. I just don't think today is the day for it. I'm with you. I'm late, but did she really not show up in this? Yeah, no, she didn't show up at all. Good to see you, Cara. Nope, she did not. And Mr. Y. Smith was talking to an empty podium. He sure was. He really was. It does go both ways. Christian liberty does go both ways. If I cause my brother to sin, give it up. I'm with you there. All right, let us keep this going. He created a campaign against it, Brandon Burke says, because he saw hemp as a great threat. His own words to make paper. I'm sorry, he used his own wood to make paper. Hemp is much better, so he couldn't attack it on those facts, therefore propaganda. I feel like I missed it. Yeah, I totally missed that conversation. Oh my gosh. Where did that come from? All right. There's clearly a conversation I missed, and I do apologize. I feel like I missed it. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find where that came from. No, we deserve it. We deserve the asteroid. Look, we deserve the asteroid, and it's not because of weed. We deserve the asteroid, and it's not because of Biden or because what we're doing internationally or globally, whatever like that. We deserve the asteroid because of what we do to our babies. That's it. End of day. That's it. Every Christian should say, yep, that's it. What we're doing to babies is it. That's it. We deserve it. End of day. There's some good documentation on the effects of weed on the younger brains in a book called The Teenage Brain by Francis E. Jensen, MD. Okay. Thank you so much, Flying Girl. Good to see you. Some crimes don't deserve second chances, in our word, of course, especially as a child of first. Right. That's my only thing. Like, I don't know. I don't think we should just if you're a habitual speeder, I don't think that you need to genuflect and never be able to drive a car again because you were a speeder. Not that. But on the same note, there's got to be some that are like, yeah, this right here, we have to recognize you in this role or recognize this crime indefinitely. That's just my thoughts. Answer from embezzler, you're right. God absolutely changes hearts. No question about it. Definitely email management. Please email management if you have concerns, questions, or problems with the titles or anything like that. Or why I have this green gradient make sure you email management about that stuff, man, for real, for sure. All right, here we go. Thank you so much, average guy, average man. Answer: is that person still a citizen? Yes, I am a citizen, but I went to jail because I speed. Once you begin to strip away rights, you have taken away citizenship. Okay. I mean, I get you. So again, average man, what if I was I was cooking the books for my widget company, and I cooked the books pretty bad, and I went to jail. What is my position upon? And I'm not saying I'm not a citizen anymore, but and you just can't. I can't work anymore in the financial services area because I cooked the books. That just wondering. I totally get your point, and I think this is a keen, sober response. I think that's great. I'm just wondering, how does that work? How does it play out with somebody who's done a crime, and can they go back into that role again? I don't think we should keep rights away, Kiana says, but I also wouldn't want to put people in vulnerable positions and no one's technically has the right to a particular job. Okay. Enlightened One says, Trump must do this with Biden on Rogan. It would be media gold. I mean, I wouldn't, I think it would be hilarious. All right, let's see. All right, Tim says, I have a burglary charge and I can't work in retail. Makes sense to me. I mean, I get it. That's what I'm thinking. All right, let's see. It's all good, brother. Weed has been put on earth for a medical herb. If used for medical in the right way, is different than Cheech and Chong. I'm sorry, I didn't pull that up there. I agree. How did we get here? I have no idea. You have to denounce your citizenship? What? For what? Wait. If you go to jail, you denounce your citizenship? If I go to jail for, being a habitual speeder or cooking the books for my widget company, I have to, wait, hold on now. Now we might really have to check that one out. I have a burglary charge and it hinders me from certain jobs, which I agree with. I messed up, but it shouldn't keep me from some other jobs or voting or having a gun. But it does. See, okay, then in that regard, I think most of us then agree. I think me and average man would rather, Tim, agree with you. I don't think that voting, I think whatever that charge was, I do think if that's what we're talking about, if we're talking about this situation right here. Okay, I'm sorry, now I'm reading average man. All right, bring this back up, Tim. If you went to jail for burglary, and let's just say for easy math, you went to jail for 5 years for burglary, grand theft. You spent 60 months in jail and you got out. Upon getting out, in my opinion, you should be able still to vote and you should be able to still own a gun. However, you should not be able to work in a bank. I don't think those are different. I don't think those are being double-minded, if you will. You can't work in a bank, but you should be able to vote and you should be able to still legally own a gun. And I'm assuming that you did it the right way. Now, if you committed a crime using a gun, let's say that you actually used the gun in the process of committing a crime, maybe we need to have a discussion from there. And I want to hear what average man, because I know he is a law enforcement, or I believe he's retired. So I would love to hear what he says about that. So that would be my only issue, but let's go. Average man says, if a crime doesn't deserve a second chance, that is handled during sentencing. So what does it do, though? What is a crime that would not deserve a second chance? I don't think you should tell people that, Tim. If you have a gun, you're not supposed to. All right. Oh, man, now I want to know this. Y'all got me thinking now. Okay. All right, people here, E. Todd says, people here in Oregon that spend time in jail can vote still here. There you go. Let's move to Oregon. No, just kidding. Answer, in my view, wanting or keeping things away from somebody, average man says, away from someone, really punished is a comfort. Already punished is a comfort issue for the masses, but who is supposed to judge us ultimately? God. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm just I don't think we're judging them. Just saying, I think, like, for example, since this is social commentary from a Christian male perspective, I think we all know that David sinned against God by having Bathsheba's husband Uriah killed. To this day, even though David repented to God and God forgave David, everybody knows that David committed a sin against Bathsheba. We're not judging him. I'm not judging David. I'm just acknowledging that David sinned against God and Bathsheba and Uriah by having Uriah killed. So that's my only 2 cents. And it's mentioned, several times, even in the New Testament. So it was clearly known by the New Testament writers that David had done said activity. So I don't know I don't think we're judging him. We're just saying, hey, we're aware of it. So, okay. So there are there we go. So there are no second chance crimes. Okay. So let's say that again, I'm guilty, average man. I am guilty of, kicking gerbils. All right, I've kicked gerbils, and therefore I go to jail for 50 years for kicking gerbils. When I come out of jail, I'm sorry, but at the sentencing, they say Jason can no longer own a gerbil ever again in the history of his life. Now, when I get out of jail, if I worked at a pet store, I think people would want to know, like, oh, bruh has been in jail for kicking gerbils. He probably shouldn't work in a pet store where there's an abundance of gerbils. That, to me, I think that would make sense. But what do you think, average man? Michelle says, David repented and turned from his sins. David was still punished. That's it. So I'm not saying we're judging him. I'm just saying we're just aware that, yeah. And Susie, let's tag this along too. God puts government in place for legalizing and judging a society. Well, we're doing a horrible job at it, but that is it, though. All right, let me see. Answer: no second chance crimes is life. Oh, okay. Okay, so for no second chance crimes is life in prison. Okay, so then, all right, you got to answer my question then. So my kicking gerbil example. All right, Nikita, stay out of here. Get out of here. All right, so I kick gerbils, and look, this is a great conversation. I do not want you to think I'm being light of it. I'm just trying to keep it friendly so that YouTube don't come off the top rope on me. All right, if I'm convicted of kicking gerbils, should I be able to work at PetSmart ever again? Oh, and let's say, here we go. Let's say I was actually kicking gerbils at PetSmart. Can I go back to work at PetSmart after getting out of jail? And again, I don't think you have, somebody said it earlier, and this is, I mean, hopefully this is a good thought experiment, and we can kind of, make some sense of this thing. I'm trying to find it. I don't see it. Somebody said, like, it doesn't mean I can't work anywhere. I just can't work in this arena of, working around gerbils because I like to kick gerbils. Q said they need to be. I do agree with that. Now, I do think that we have gotten very sloppy with the death penalty. I agree with that. All right, let me see what it got. All right, let me see. All right, so that's my only question. I love the idea and the question. And Susie said this: a true no second chance crime would be a death sentence within a short time of sentencing, not getting out in a few years and not rotting on death row for decades. There we go. I agree. All right. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm just trying to process it. All right. Think of crimes against people, children, elderly, disabled. Those crimes are which would be considered depraved. No question. Okay, so, but that's all I'm asking. So I think we are in agreement with these ones here, average man. I think most people, well, definitely Jason and you are in agreement for sure that those are depraved crimes and those do not get a second chance. And we can do a better job of instituting what Q and Susie Q were saying. I agree with that. However, as a habitual gerbil kicker, and I was working at PetSmart kicking gerbils, and I got arrested, thrown in jail for however long, and now I'm out of jail. Can I go back to work at PetSmart or, another pet store, the local pet store, gerbils are us, even though I'm a habitual gerbil kicker. And I get a second chance. I'm not in jail, but do I get to go back to work in that field? That's my only thing. Drop a gerbil. Drop a gerbil in the chat. Let me see. I don't know why, because we're not a pet family. So let me get I think that's why I'm joking about it, because I know that the kids do not, they want a pet, but they're like, Dad is not studying us. Dad does not care what we're saying. So they know that part. So, all right, where's the little gerbil icon? I'm having a rough time here. Having a rough time. All right, let's see. Where's the gerbil? There he is. There we go. And I should have put a foot next to it and show like kicking it. All right. Answer. Life in prison, I believe, is a better answer, as it leaves a chance for corrective measures in case of a corrupted trial, and the person could be released and made whole with money. I don't know what to say. Okay. Y'all are wild with the gerbils. I appreciate it. We putting the gerbils in. Wow, what is that? Not a gerbil. It's a chipmunk. Wow. Where'd you get that from? Is that in here? I mean, I'm way off task. They're going to be emailing management for sure. Oh, there's a chipmunk. Okay, I see. Thank you, Caustic Chameleon. I get too inspired when I come here. I forgot the topic, but let me get. So we were initially talking about the Fulton County debate, the single-sided debate. However, oh, there we go. Susie's put out a whole sentence in emojis. Don't kick gerbils. There we go. However, one of the topics from the debate was the legalization of drugs. And then from there, we've gone down this rabbit hole or chipmunk hole or whatever of discussing whether or not what is the right way to deal with persons who have committed a crime, life in jail, death penalty. When they get out, do they have a stigma and whatever like that? So I do think that was a good conversation. Well, thank you so much, Monkey Flower. I appreciate you. The rabbit hole is wild. It is wild, Todd. It is wild. And now we're kicking chipmunks. Yeah. Or gerbils. And chipmunks. I guess we kicked the rabbits too. We kicked them as well. Man, it's crazy. I try to keep the terminologies as generic as possible, because if you say certain things, you'll come back and find your whole channel removed by YouTube. YouTube is wild, let me tell you. They are wild about certain things. So that's why I try to keep it as generic and as crazy, out of pocket as possible, so it doesn't trigger them to think something's going on over here. We're over here kicking gerbils or something crazy. As far as I know, gerbils are not a protected class on YouTube at the moment, but anything could happen tomorrow. All right, let's see what we got. The system has too many laws and too much punishment. Ultimately, it should be don't steal, don't hurt people. Okay, I totally, listen. I'm not arguing or disagreeing with you. I just thought of, however, 25 different ways that we can ruin that without going too far. I'm thinking about speeding laws. I'm thinking about, what about lying? I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not stealing from you by lying to you and such of that nature. So, I mean, now, if I lied to you to steal, then I got you. Rather you got me because I was stealing. What if I just lie to you to get you to do something wrong? Or maybe I lie to you I can see some problems with that. But I'm not mad at you. Now I will say this, I do agree that we do have too many laws. And please understand, laws show that we as humans are not innately good. And at the end of the day, we are not able to, even at the bare minimum, do the right thing because we can't. We're messed up. We're messed up from the start. Okay, answer. Eric Gardner's death was caused by caused by selling a loose cigarette. Got you. And therefore, I don't think, and if I remember this story correctly, he was arrested and he was put in the back of the truck, in the back of the van, and when the van door was opened up, he was beat up and bruised up and in a bad position. I agree. That right there is, to me, that shouldn't have been a law. I agree with that. There's nothing wrong with him selling, in my opinion, loose cigarettes. Would I buy loose cigarettes? Absolutely not. But I don't think there was anything wrong with that. And I don't think that, and so if that be the case, if we're having this discussion right here, then that shouldn't be a law. I don't think there should be any problem with that. I mean, and again, I think we see a lot of imbalance in society and culture anyway. So no argument for me whatsoever, average man, no argument whatsoever. I just think that we need to come up with a better way to deal with it. Like, for example, maybe before you institute a new law or roll out a new law that maybe is a useful one, you have to get rid of 5 that don't work, or 5 that are silly, or 5 that are dumb or antiquated. If nothing else, just get rid of all antiquated laws that don't make sense. You can't walk down the street with a popsicle in your pocket. Why is that even a law? What are we doing? Why is that a law? Get rid of that. So there are some like that. So I can rock with you on that. All right. The Supreme Court has already said lying is protected as a freedom of speech. Okay. Now, if the person lies, freedom of speech, and it causes someone else to steal or to hurt somebody, what would that do? That's the only thing. I don't remember. And Q, hear me. I don't remember that. So I thought he was arrested for selling loose cigarettes, and they put him in the back of a paddy wagon. That's what I'm remembering very loosely. I am not even at the most part arguing that case because I don't remember what happened. Okay, and Dylan says no. He was overweight and had bad health. Wow. Okay, I mean, I'll have to look it up real quick. I appreciate it, though. Let's see. See if I can find it. All right. And that might have been right. Maybe that's was it the I Can't Breathe guy? Is that what that was? We are not going to start adjudicating cases here. All right. Okay, so they put him in a chokehold while arresting him. Yep. Again, the whole selling loose cigarettes is, in my opinion, there's no reason for it. Like, to me, that's silly. I don't think that's a good practice at all. But that's my argument. Yeah, I ran across it real quick. I think I found the same thing that you just posted, Susie. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mama Jones. Hit that like button. Help your guy out. We almost got 100. We almost got 100 people liking the video. If I can get 7 more people, we break 100. Help your guy out. Q, why you gotta go to sleep? Why? You ain't got nothing. Stay here and talk to us. Just kidding. Good to see you, Dinah. Good to see you. So yeah, I mean, I think we've solved some major problems in society here today. We've figured out why Fani Willis refused to debate the young man. We've also almost got 100 people liking the video. We've figured out the medicinal versus recreational marijuana usage. I mean, we're bringing global peace here, people. That's why this is the best live chat on the planet. 'Cause, I mean, we're fixing problems over here. I mean, we're Nobel Prize worthy up in here, for real. All right, answer. The only time lying is not protected is when you are under oath. Sorry, Eric was outside a convenience store in New York. It was a tax violation. Man, to me, I mean, we can get into, and I think you hit a great point, average man. We got a lot of laws that just don't make no sense. And I think if we could fix that, we would do society a great service, because we got some laws that just don't make no sense at all. So, I mean, in my opinion, that's one of the big issues that we have. But again, it won't fix the fact that we deserve an asteroid with a side of bubonic plague or an extra dose of locust invasion. We deserve it. We deserve it. There's nobody. No, we deserve it. All of us. We just deserve it, because we be doing the most. All right. Do we even know what was the young man who's running against Fani Willis' platform is? Yes. I mean, his platform, Christian Y. Smith, his platform, I can post it. I can find it real quick. I've heard him talk about it. He's running, in my opinion, and my translation of, let me find it real quick. Thank you, Mama Joe's. That's a good question. My interpretation of his platform was that he wanted to focus more on Fulton County rather than all of being big like Fani is doing. So he wants to focus on that criminal justice system, of course, the jail to prison, or the school to prison pipeline, and such like that. And I thought he had a much more grassroots, a much more boots on the ground type of approach to it. But that was just my interpretation. Let me find that thing real quick while we're going through here. Please give that guy a like. Come on, man. Your guy need 3 more likes. If I got 3 more likes, I would have 100 likes tonight. And then I would be really close to saying better than average today. How about that? Even if you don't like me. I hope you like me. That'd be cool. All right, so here's his book. And let me find his platform for us. Let's look at that. Oh, he wrote a kid's book. Let me drop this in here. He wrote a kid's book. It looks kind of cute. All right, here's that. That's kind of cool that he wrote a kid's book. And let me find his All right. This is a summary. I think this is the one I was reading earlier. I wish I had saved it. Mama Joe's, here you go. There's 2 links there to check out and see what you think. Another legal consequence of lying is defamation. If you lied about someone's committing a crime, like in the TikTok, what happened there? Tick-2, what is that? Man, y'all know too much, man. Y'all just be dropping knowledge all the time. Kid's book on voting. I want James to send me his book. I want to read that and comment on it. All right, what are these restrictions you got here? What are you restricting me from, your average man? I don't want you to restrict me. I want to be able to run amok. Don't be restricting me from anything. Oh, wild, I tell you. All right, what we got here? No, that was dope. Thank y'all so much, man. I really appreciate it. Let me know real quick. We're going to do a little quick survey. Just a quick. I kind of like doing the watch party type of effect, because hearing what you all talk about, and it gives me a chance to kind of focus in on you all, even though we're watching something together. Now, do you all like that type of project? Let me drop a poll. Let me do a poll. What do you all think about? Because I wouldn't mind doing these again. Let's say watch parties. Do you like them? All right, here we go. All right, I'm dropping a poll in here just real quick. Answer the poll real quick so I can just kind of get a gauge on what do you all think about it. And because I like giving you all a chance to kind of hear what you all are thinking. You know, sometimes if I'm just focusing on reading an article or focus on watching a video or whatever like that, I don't get a chance to, oh, that TikTok psychic. Oh my gosh. Yes. I know you're talking about. That was wild. That was a wild story. Y'all be giving me some great stories, by the way. You all are the best. All right. I think, oh, praise God. Thank y'all, man. Thank you. I'm glad. It looks like the overwhelming consensus is that you all like that type of format. Feel free to answer the poll question. It popped up on the screen. So yeah, I want to kind of bring these up again. Trust me, if I can get a Fani Willis debate, because I want to hear her debate. Trust me, I want to really hear a person-to-person, side-by-side debate. That would be amazing. Oh man, I don't know what I'll be doing, Monkey Flower. I hope I ain't in trouble. It's very possible though. It's very possible. Excuse me. No, and I think it gives you a chance to talk. As we watch YouTube says, yeah, we like hanging out and talking with you and having something to talk about. You know, things I know I have to talk about. Absolutely. And I think it's good. So yeah, so hopefully we'll have more of these debate series. And oh my goodness, I can't wait for the Biden-Trump debate. I cannot wait. Oh, that's gonna be some must watch. Oh, it's gonna be great. But so yeah, I'm thinking about doing these a little bit more, as well as, you know, reacting to videos and commentating on articles, so on and so forth. Because I found the article that summarized the debate, and I was like, well, let me find the debate. And I thought the debate was much better than the article. And you know, we'll get more opportunities to do that as well. I love it. Thank y'all. It looks like most of y'all like the debate series, or at least the watch party format. So we'll do that again. Thank y'all so much. But all right, what do we have here? Okay, wait. Okay, so Monkey Business said, Monkey Flower, please forgive me, said, type in Dear Woke Christian breaking the internet with goodness. All right, now I got to go check. Oh my gosh. I don't want to see. Oh, that's kind of dope. Okay. All right. Y'all, I got a new mouse. Okay, we got to talk about that too, since we talk about kicking gerbils. Yeah, these are all me. Yeah. Wow. Man, I forgot about some of these things. I forgot about some of these. Wow. Yo. I got to do a better job. I am too smart not to have these things uploaded like this. I got podcasts that are just waiting for me to upload that I've abandoned. Oh my gosh. Man, Monkey Flower, you got me shook. Oh, I got somebody. Do I have a hater? Oh no, that's me. Wow. 2021? Wow, that's a long time ago. This is bananas. You're right, man. I was not ready for that. Well done. Well done. Wow. I was like, oh, surely these are not all me. These are all surely me. Good gracious, man. All right, that was good, man. Thank you. I need to go through and clean out some of these things. I gotta find some passwords. All right, well, appreciate you, Michelle. Yeah, I think we're gonna do that more often. So thank y'all. I appreciate it. All right, let's get ready to bug out of here. All right, my good people, you all are amazing. Thank you again for every last one of you. Thank you so much for the super chats. I appreciate you so much, Brandon. Hopefully we had a good edifying conversation. Thank you, all of you all, for the comments back and forth and all of that stuff. We had better than 170 at one point watching the video. That means a lot that y'all find value in this. And the goal, the aspiration is to give you a perspective, give you a little bit of social commentary and such like that from a Christian male perspective. So hopefully I was able to deliver that. And please feel free, if you run across something that you find of benefit or you think would be of value, please don't hesitate to hit that email management button. I'll just drop it back in the chat. Feel free to email management. If you run across something you think I would benefit from talking about or looking into, please, absolutely. Feel free to email me, of course. And thank you so much, moderators. You all do an outstanding job of not only putting links up, but keeping the conversation moving and grooving. I really appreciate it. And then thank you, of course, the live chat, because you guys keep this thing fun and it means a lot to me. So I really do appreciate it. Let's do this real soon. I don't have a video planned for tomorrow simply because I was going to leave it open because I didn't know what was going to happen. So I just said, if something pops up, we'll do it. So I hope that YouTube will act right and let y'all know when I do decide to do a video for tomorrow or definitely the rest of this week. But besides that, though, everybody, thank y'all so much. I appreciate you as always. And until next time, my good people, grace and peace. Take care. Have a great night.